Surviving Mom's Game, a teen's fight to save her siblings from a twisted trap. When I was 11, my dad died, and my mom made me take care of my 4 siblings all by myself. She said, "I might not stick around unless you give me a reason to." Live. "These kids are your job now. Raise them perfectly, or I'm gone." Every morning, I had to bring her breakfast with notes from each sibling saying why they loved her, or she'd lock herself in the bathroom with razors. Then one day, she mixed all her pills in one bottle, playing a dangerous game. While we waited for the ambulance, she smiled and said, "Your dad was so controlling, always saying he'd take you kids if I left. So, I made sure he couldn't." My mom forced me to raise my 4 siblings alone because she said if I didn't keep her happy enough to stay alive, we'd all be split up forever if she died, too. I was 11 when my dad died. Mom found him in the garage that morning, and by afternoon, she pulled me aside. "I'm next," she said, holding an empty pill bottle. "Unless you keep me happy, these kids are on you. Raise them perfectly, or I'm gone." I thought she was just sad, but she meant it. My siblings, all born within 6 minutes of each other, became my responsibility that day. Mom stayed in her bedroom most of the time, only coming out to remind me what would happen if she died. "Foster care won't keep you 5 together," she'd say, shaking her pills. "You'll be sent to 5 different homes. Is that what you want?" I was terrified and followed her rules exactly. Every morning, I brought her breakfast in bed with a note from each sibling saying why they loved her. If Emma's note was messy or Jake's wasn't creative enough, Mom would lock herself in the bathroom with razors. I'd stand outside with my crying siblings, rewriting notes and begging her to come out. "Give me a reason," she'd yell. So, I did. Every day, I gave her 20 reasons for siblings times 5 happy moments I made up. I handled everything while Mom acted like she might die any day. Getting my siblings ready for school meant waking up at 4:30 a.m. Jake needed exactly 7 minutes in the shower, or he'd freak out. Emma couldn't wear Reddit, reminded her of Dad's death. Oliver needed his toast cut into triangles, never squares. Lily, the youngest by 3 minutes, only ate if I pretended her food was an airplane, all while listening for Mom's footsteps. Silence meant she might have done something awful. Teachers noticed we were always tired. "Is everything okay at home?" they'd ask. I'd see Mom's empty pill bottles in my mind and smile, saying, "We're just adjusting since Dad died. Mom's trying her best." What else could I say? That I slept on Mom's floor at night, hiding sharp things. Then one day, Mom mixed all her pills in one bottle, taking random handfuls. "Let's see if I get the right mix." She laughed as I tried to stop her. That's when she told me why Dad's death broke her, not sadness, but guilt. "He was so controlling," she said, her eyes weird. "Always threatening to take you kids. So, I made sure he couldn't." I felt sick. She smiled at my shock. "Don't be surprised. I did it for you kids, so we could be free." I was 12, holding my unconscious mom, who'd just admitted to killing Dad, while waiting for the ambulance and keeping my siblings calm. In the next room, at the hospital, I almost told the truth. The nurse was so kind, asking gentle questions about home. I started to speak, then saw my siblings in the waiting room. Emma had drawn 5 stick figures holding hands, labeled forever, family. Jake was teaching Oliver our secret handshake. Lily was asleep on Emma's lap, sucking her thumb. I couldn't ruin their world with the truth about Dad. So, I lied, saying Mom took too many pills by accident, a sad widow's mistake. They pumped her stomach and sent us home with papers about depression. Mom smiled the whole way home. "Smart girl," she whispered. "You know what's at stake." The secret made everything harder. When Jake asked why Daddy went to heaven, I wanted to yell the truth. When Emma had nightmares about someone hurting Dad, I held her, knowing her dreams were true. Some nights, I stared at Dad's picture, wondering if he really planned to take us away. By 13, I was falling apart. I missed so much school they sent letters home. I lost 20 pounds because I forgot to eat. My siblings knew something was wrong. "Is Mom going to heaven, too?" Lily whispered one night, and I hugged her so tight she squirmed. How could I answer when every day felt like stopping a bomb that could split us into 5 foster homes? Then came the anniversary of Dad's death. Mom had been planning for weeks, hinting she'd join him, leaving notes about which sibling should go to which relative. She'd hidden pills around the house like a scary treasure hunt. That morning, she gathered us in the living room. "I have something to tell you about Daddy's death," she started, and my heart stopped. She was going to tell them everything. I tried to distract her, but she kept going. Daddy didn't want to leave us. Someone made him, Emma asked. Who? Mom looked at me. Someone who loved you all very much. Someone who thought they were protecting you. My siblings stared at me, and I saw Mom's plan. If I denied it, she'd tell them everything. If I didn't, they'd think I killed Dad. Either way, she'd win. Please, I whispered. But Mom had already swallowed a handful of pills she'd hidden. As my siblings screamed and cried, as I called 911 and started CPR, she smiled at me. Even unconscious, even dying, she'd made sure we'd never stay together. The paramedics rushed in while I pressed on Mom's chest, counting. My siblings huddled in the corner, Emma covering Lily's eyes while Oliver clung to Jake. The medics took over, putting Mom on a stretcher as I grabbed coats and shoes, rushing everyone out. At the hospital, we sat in the same waiting room as before. The same kind nurse recognized us, looking worried. I kept my siblings close, letting them color in books while I filled out forms with shaky hands. The forms asked about Mom's pills, past attempts, and family support. I wrote careful half-truths, knowing Mom would read them later. Hours passed. Jake fell asleep across 2 chairs. Emma braided Lily's hair over and over, a nervous habit. Oliver stayed close, asking when we could go home. I had no answers, just hugged him tighter. The doctor finally came out, looking tired. Mom was okay but needed a mental health check for 3 days. My stomach dropped. 3 days without Mom meant 3 days of pretending everything was normal, keeping her killing secret, and answering my siblings' questions. We couldn't go home that night. A social worker sent us to our old neighbor, Mrs. Mendez, who'd known us since we were babies. She made beds on her living room floor, like a fun sleepover, but it wasn't fun. I tucked my siblings in, promising Mom would be okay, that we'd stay together, that nothing bad would happen. Mrs. Mendez pulled me aside after they slept. She held my hands, looking at my tired eyes and how I jumped at loud noises. She didn't ask questions, just said I was doing a good job. I almost cried right there. The next morning was a mess. Getting 4 siblings ready without our routine was hard. Jake freaked out because Mrs. Mendez didn't have his cereal. Emma refused to wear the spare clothes we grabbed. They smelled wrong. Oliver wouldn't eat because the toast wasn't cut right. Lily cried for Mom every few minutes. I handled each problem while making lunches and signing school forms in someone else's kitchen. School was worse. Teachers asked gentle questions about home. The guidance counselor talked about help for families in trouble. I smiled and lied, scared that one report could split us up before Mom left the hospital. Emma's teacher showed me her drawings, our family with Dad as an angel, and Mom surrounded by dark scribbles. One showed me as a giant holding for tiny kids, my face sad. She waited for me to explain, but I couldn't. That afternoon, I picked up my siblings early, saying it was a family emergency. We spent hours at the park, them playing while I made plans. Mom would be out in 2 days, mad about the hospital stay, blaming me for not stopping it. The pills would be harder to find now, her tricks sneakier. I needed to be ready. I taught my siblings secret signals. If Mom locked herself in the bathroom, Emma would take Lily to the backyard playhouse. If Mom talked about Dad's death, Jake would distract her with dinosaur facts while Oliver found me. We practiced like it was a game, but it broke my heart, watching them learn our emergency plans. Mrs. Mendez let us stay another night. I barely slept, seeing Mom's smile as she swallowed pills, making my siblings think I hurt Dad. By morning, I decided to start documenting Mom's actions evidence for when I was old enough to protect them properly. I borrowed Mrs. Mendez's old film camera, since digital photos could be deleted if Mom found them. That last day before Mom's release, I took pictures of everything. The way Mom timed her actions was so planned, like she knew exactly how to hurt us most. The pill bottles in the garage, the razor in the kitchen drawer, her notes about splitting us. A peach photo was like building a shield. Oliver asked why I was photographing the medicine cabinet. I said it was for a school project on home safety. He believed me and even pointed out cleaning supplies under the sink. Another lie I had to tell. On the day Mom came home, I dressed my siblings in their best clothes. Emma's hair was perfectly braided, Jake's shirt tucked in, Oliver's shoes tied right, Lily's favorite dress clean. We had to look perfect to convince the hospital we were fine. Mom came out looking weak, hugging each sibling, and whispering apologies that sounded real to everyone but me. When she hugged me, her grip was tight, her whisper sharp. She knew about the hospital stay, knew I could have told them everything. Her eyes warned me. The drive home was quiet except for Lily talking about staying with Mrs. Mendez. Mom's hands were tight on the steering wheel, planning her next move. The siblings didn't notice, happy she was back. Jake even patted her shoulder, saying we missed her. At home, everything looked the same but felt different. Mom checked every room, noticing anything moved. She found the missing pill bottles fast but didn't say anything, just gave me that knowing smile. That night, she acted like nothing happened, ordering pizza and laughing at Oliver's jokes. But I saw her counting pills under the table, checking the knife drawer, testing how much control she'd lost. After bedtime, she called me to her room. The house was quiet, except for the clock ticking. She sat on her bed, patting the space next to her. I stayed by the door, ready to run if needed. She talked calmly about the hospital, how the doctors didn't understand our special family, how outsiders wanted to tear us apart. Then she said I'd called 911 too fast, like I expected her to take the pills. The accusation hung there. I kept my face blank, knowing reactions made her worse. She studied me, then changed tactics. She showed me a new bottle of stronger sleeping pills, explaining new rules. Every morning, I'd watch her count the pills to make sure none were missing. Every evening, I'd count them again. If any were gone, she'd think I was planning something bad. After all, who else knew where her pills were? The threat was clear. She'd blame me if anything happened. I agreed because I had no choice. She sent me away, already planning her next move. I walked to my room, legs shaking, past my siblings' doors where they slept, unaware of the new game starting. The next weeks became a weird routine. Morning pill counts before breakfast. Watching Mom act sad for neighbors who asked about her hospital stay. Keeping my siblings busy when she had bad days. Evening pill counts before bed. Everything followed her rules. She started leaving dangerous things out but not quite reachable. A knife on the counter's edge, open scissors on her nightstand, car keys near the garage door. Tests to see if I'd hide them, traps to catch me protecting her. I learned to ignore them, stepping around the dangers like they were nothing. My siblings started showing stress. Emma's nightmares got worse. Jake asked why Mom was always tired. Oliver followed me everywhere, scared. Lily started talking like a baby again. I handled their needs while keeping up Mom's fake happy family act, stretching myself thin every day. Then came parent-teacher conferences. Mom insisted on going, acting like a sad widow trying her best. She charmed every teacher, brushing off their worries with fake tears and promises to improve. She even offered to help with the school fundraiser, making everyone think she was a great mom. But Mrs. Vargas, my English teacher, wasn't fooled. She kept me after our meeting, with Mom waiting in the hall. Mrs. Vargas closed the door and quietly talked about my missed homework, how tired I looked, and how my stories were always about trapped people. She offered real help if I needed it. I wanted to tell her everything, but I smiled and promised to do better. She gave me her phone number on a card, saying it was for emergencies. I hid it in my shoe, knowing Mom would check my pockets later. That night, Mom was weirdly happy. She'd seen Mrs. Vargas talk to me and noticed her worry. She hummed while making dinner, saying how nice the teachers were, how lucky we were to have caring people, how sad it would be if they worried more. The threat was simple but scary. If we showed we were upset, she'd make things worse. She'd make things worse. She was so good at acting like a struggling mom that no one would believe a 13-year-old's crazy stories about pills and tricks. That night, I started planning not to run away. That was impossible with 4 siblings, or to tell anyone that would make her do something final. Instead, I planned to survive, to keep us together until I was old enough to escape her control. 5 more years until I was 18. 5 years of pills, threats, and chaos, but with an end. Mom must have sensed my change. The next morning, she started a new family tradition. Weekly video messages for after she was gone. She set up a camera, making each sibling record their feelings, memories, and love for her. She said that videos would be treasures for us later, or proof of our happy family if anyone asked questions. I watched my siblings pour their hearts out, telling Mom they loved her, needed her, wanted her to stay. Each word tied us to her story. When it was my turn, I spoke carefully, knowing she could edit the videos to use against us. I said what she wanted, nothing more. The camera became her new weapon. She recorded everything: fake happy family movie nights, homework sessions where she helped Oliver with math, bedtime stories for Lily. To anyone watching, we looked like a perfect family with a loving mom. They wouldn't see her counting pills off camera or how we tensed when she reached for her purse. 3 months after the hospital, Mom started talking about Dad differently, not with sadness, but anger. She said he'd planned to leave us, saved money, and talked to lawyers. She found proof after he died. She claimed my siblings started believing her lies. Dad wasn't just gone, he'd wanted to abandon us. Only Mom's love kept us together, she said. I watched their memories change. Even Emma's drawings showed Dad's angel wings turning darker. I tried to remind them of good times with Dad, but Mom was always there, twisting every memory. The fishing trip became the day Dad complained about having 5 kids. The birthday party became something he hated doing. She slowly turned their love for him into hate while making herself their hero. One night, while helping Jake with homework, he asked if I remembered Dad wanting to leave us. It hurt like a punch. I said Dad loved us and would never leave. Jake looked confused, saying Mom showed him lawyer letters about custody. I realized she'd been talking to them one by one, using their fears against them. That night, while Mom showered, I snuck into her room. I found the papers in her nightstand, next to the pills I counted twice a day. They were fake, badly made, but convincing to a kid. Fake letterheads, fake signatures, fake dates that didn't match Dad's death. I photographed them with Mrs. Mendez's camera, hands shaking as Mom's shower ended, her humming getting louder. I put everything back and slipped out as the water stopped. Another piece of evidence for my hidden shoebox in the garage rafters. The next day brought a new problem. Oliver's teacher called about him hiding food in his desk. When asked, he said he was saving it for when Mom went to heaven. The school wanted a family meeting. Mom thanked the teacher, promised to fix it, then turned to me with cold eyes. She said it was my fault, that I'd made Oliver nervous with my worrying. She said I was making the kids anxious. She decided I needed space from them for their own good, of course. New rules started right away. I couldn't help with homework. That was Mom's job now. No bedtime stories. I was making them too dependent. Even sitting together at dinner was discouraged. She needed to make them confident without my bad influence. Mom counted pills like she was running a scary store, leaving knives around like decorations. Someone should tell her that's not what home safety means. My siblings were confused by the distance. Emma asked if she'd done something wrong. Jake wanted to know why I couldn't help with his science project. Oliver started having accidents at school from stress. Lily just cried, reaching for me when Mom wasn't looking. I found ways around the rules notes in their lunchboxes, teaching Emma to copy my handwriting to help Jake with homework, making games so Oliver could ask for help without saying it, whispering stories to Lily through the wall. We kept going, but Mom was getting worse. The pill counts became big shows where she'd talk about what would happen after she was gone. Foster homes in different cities, new families who might not want kids with problems. She painted scary pictures of us being split up while I stood there, forced to count her pills. 2 weeks before Dad's death anniversary, she started planning her final act. She talked about joining him with excitement, saying the date was special, even poetic. My siblings got quieter, sensing something bad coming. I made my own plans, gathered birth certificates, social security cards, packed emergency bags hidden around the house, memorized the bus schedule to Aunt Sarah's house 3 towns away. She'd stopped talking to us after Dad died, but she was our only hope if things went bad. The night before the anniversary, Mom gathered us for another family meeting, another video session. This time, she wanted us to share our favorite Dad memories. My siblings struggled, their memories twisted by her lies. Each happy story was corrected until even I doubted what was real. After sending them to bed, she kept me back. She said tomorrow would be tough, a day of remembering and deciding. She needed me to know my role, my responsibility. If anything happened, it'd be because I didn't give her enough reasons to live. I stared at her, this woman who'd killed my dad and tortured us with fear for 2 years. Something in my face must have shown because she smiled, pulling out a new, stronger pill bottle. She put it on the table between USA Challenge and a promise. Tomorrow, she'd decide our fate, and I'd watch, powerless. She sent me to bed, lost in her plans. I didn't sleep. I sat by my window, holding Mrs. Vargas's card. One call could end this, but who'd believe she confessed to killing during a pill overdose? Who'd trust a teenager over a sad mom's tears? As morning came, I made my choice, not the one Mom expected, not one to save us all, but one to keep us together long enough to survive. I had one secret weapon she didn't know about: the photos in the garage. Pills, weapons, fake papers. Not enough to prove murder, but maybe enough for custody, to get us to Aunt Sarah, to safety, to a life without daily death threats. But first, I had to survive this anniversary, keep my siblings safe from Mom's final game, and find the strength to fight someone who'd already killed. The anniversary morning was too calm. I got my siblings ready like always: Jake's 7-minute shower, Oliver's triangle toast, Emma's blue dress, Lily's airplane breakfast. They sensed today was different. Mom came out in black, carrying the new pill bottle, placing it on the kitchen counter while we ate, a quiet reminder of her power. My siblings kept looking at it, then at me, waiting for someone to say something. After breakfast, Mom said we were going to Dad's grave. My siblings looked worried. We hadn't been there since the funeral. I helped them into coats, noticing Emma's shaky hands. Jake kept asking about the cemetery, nervous. Oliver held my hand tight, and Lily hummed nervously. The drive felt forever. Mom played Dad's favorite songs, adding mean comments. She played their wedding song, saying he stopped dancing with her. She played our lullaby, saying he hated sleepless nights. Each memory came with her poison. At the cemetery, Mom made us stand around Dad's headstone. She set up her phone to record, talking about loss, choices, and raising 5 kids alone. Her words sounded sad for the camera, making her seem like a hero. She had us each put a flower on the grave, narrating for the video. When it was my turn, she said I'd become so responsible since Dad died, helping with the younger ones. It sounded like a compliment, but I heard the threat. Back home, Mom went to her room with the pill bottle. The sound of the cap clicking echoed. I kept my siblings busy with a puzzle, but they kept looking at her door. Emma whispered, "Mom seemed sadder today." Jake asked if she was sick. Oliver held my hand tighter. Around noon, Mom said she needed to grieve alone and sent us to the backyard, telling us not to bother her. Through the window, I saw her set up pills, photos, and letters on the dining table, planning something. I started our emergency plans. Emma took Lily to the playhouse with coloring books. Jake showed Oliver his rocks. I stayed by the window, taking pictures with Mrs. Mendez's camera. Mom saw me watching and waved, smiling coldly. She made phone calls, talking to relatives about the kids' futures, saying she was overwhelmed, setting up her story for whatever came next. Each call ended with her saying she wanted what was best for us. The afternoon dragged on. Mom kept checking on us, through the window, shaking the pill bottle like a toy, then disappearing. My siblings got restless, hungry, scared. I shared snacks I'd hidden in the playhouse. As the sun set, Mom called us inside. The dining table was covered with photo albums, all open to Dad's pictures. She made us sit while she told our family story, her version. Every photo came with a story about Dad's failures, his threats to leave us. Jake broke, crying, begging her to stop talking about Dad like that. Mom got mean, showing him the fake lawyer letters, saying Dad planned to take just me and leave them behind, that only she kept us together. Emma started crying, confused and scared. Oliver had an accident, too scared to ask for the bathroom. Lily stared at the photos, sucking her thumb. I wanted to tell the truth, but Mom held the pill bottle, thumb on the cap. One wrong word, and she'd swallow them all. She sent the younger ones to get ready for bed, keeping me back. She said her performance was almost done. Tomorrow, the kids would wake up to a new reality. I'd given her enough reasons to live, or they'd be orphans. It was always my choice, she said. I helped my siblings get ready for bed, hands shaking as I braided Emma's hair. Jake asked if Mom was going to heaven like Dad. I said no, she'd be here tomorrow, just needed rest. Oliver needed 3 stories to sleep. Lily made me promise to check on her every hour. Once they were asleep, I found Mom in the kitchen, counting pills, sorting them by color and size. She explained which ones would work fastest, which were painless, which would let me say goodbye. It made me sick. She told me to go to bed and think about what I'd say at her funeral, how I'd explain to my siblings why I didn't save her, how I'd live, knowing I could have stopped it in my room. I pulled out my hidden stuff, the photos, Mrs. pard, the emergency bags. I spread them on the floor, trying to make a plan. The evidence showed Mom wasn't okay, but not that she killed Dad. The teacher's help seemed weak against Mom's threats. The escape bags felt too small. How did she set everything up so perfectly while watching us through the window, shaking that pill bottle like a toy during those calls? Was that planned or just her being mean? Around midnight, I heard Mom's door open. She walked through the house, stopping at each kid's room. I held my breath when she paused at mine, but she moved on to the garage where Dad died. I followed quietly, watching through the garage window. She stood where we found Dad, turning the pill bottle in her hands, practicing her final act where it all started. It scared me. She stayed an hour, sometimes taking pills out, counting them, putting them back. Once, she put some in her mouth, holding them before spitting them out, testing herself or tormenting me, knowing I was watching. When she came back inside, she found me in the kitchen. She wasn't surprised, she'd expected me to watch. She asked if I'd decided would I give her reasons to live, or let her die. I thought of my sleeping siblings, Emma's nightmares, Jake's questions, Oliver's fears, Lily's thumb-sucking. Their futures depended on my next words. I said I had something to show her. I got the shoebox from my room and laid the photos on the kitchen table. Her eyes got small as she saw the pills, weapons, and fake papers I'd photographed. She laughed, asking if I thought the photos mattered. Who'd believe a kid's pictures over a sad mom's tears? She tore one up, saying evidence only worked if someone cared. She showed me her phone, videos, our happy family, the kids, saying they loved her, me taking care of them, proving I could handle it. If she died, the videos would show I didn't get help, that I let her die. Her trap was perfect. 2 years of tricks led to this. Either I played her game forever, or she'd die and make sure we were split up. But I had one move she didn't expect. I pulled out Mrs. Vargas's number and called it on Mom's phone. She tried to grab it, but I stepped back, letting it ring. When Mrs. Vargas answered, sleepy and confused, I said we needed help. Mom was in trouble, and the kids were in danger. Mom's face went pale, then red with anger. She took the phone, apologizing, saying I had a bad dream, but it was too late. Someone outside our family knew something was wrong. After hanging up, Mom lost it. She yelled about betrayal, consequences, how I'd ruined everything. She swallowed a handful of pills right there, daring me to stop her. I didn't move, just watched her act with tired eyes. She wanted me to panic, to beg, to play her game. Instead, I cleaned up the torn photos, putting away the evidence she'd destroyed. When I was done, I said I was going to bed, that she could do what she wanted, but I was done with her games. She followed me to my room, pills rattling, yelling and crying, switching between anger and tears. I lay in bed, eyes closed, ignoring her. Finally, she left, pacing the hall all night, waiting for me to give in. Morning came, and nothing bad happened. Mom was alive, looking rough. My siblings woke up to her making breakfast, acting like everything was fine. But something had changed. The power wasn't all hers anymore. She kept looking at me, unsure what to do. Mrs. Vargas called during breakfast to check on us. Mom answered, happily, but her hands shook when she hung up. The outside world had broken into our secret. Her control wasn't total anymore. Over the next days, Mom tried new tricks. She was super nice to my siblings, giving them gifts and attention. She made me the bad guy, saying I was trying to break up our family. She held pill bottles during every talk, reminding us of her power. But the kids noticed the change. Emma asked why Mom was being so nice. Jake wondered why I couldn't help with homework. Oliver kept having accidents from stress. Lily wouldn't eat unless I fed her, ignoring Mom's tries. Mom got mad. Her power came from my fear, and without it, her threats felt empty. She kept doing her pill shows, but I stopped watching. She left weapons out, but I stopped hiding them. She threatened to split us up, but I was ready for that possibility. One evening, while Mom recorded another family video, Jake refused to join. He said he was tired of pretending to be happy. Emma agreed, saying the videos made her sad. Oliver hid behind me, and Lily walked away. Mom exploded, yelling about ungrateful kids and all she'd done for us. My siblings huddled together, scared but together. For the first time, they saw her tricks, not just her sad mom act. That night, she made a big mistake. In her anger, she told them someone who loved them hurt Dad, that someone in our house was dangerous. She didn't name me, but they knew who she meant. Jake spoke up, saying Dad would never hurt us, that Mom was lying. Emma said she remembered Dad being kind. Oliver called Mom mean. Even Lily shook her head. It was a small fight, but it mattered. Mom had pushed too hard, and they didn't fully believe her anymore. Her control was breaking. That night, I gathered my siblings and explained that Mom was sick not in her body, but in her thoughts and feelings. I said grown-ups sometimes needed help, like kids, and we'd be okay no matter what. They listened, understanding more than I thought. Mrs. Vargas called the next day, asking for me. Mom gave me the phone, not happy. The teacher said she was worried since my late-night call. She'd talked to the school counselor, and Emma's teacher people were noticing us now. Mom heard it all, her face getting paler. After I hung up, she tried to take control again, holding the pill bottle, threatening to act right away. But her hands shook too much to open it. Her act was weak without my fear. She made one last desperate move, calling Aunt Sarah, saying I had behavior problems and needed treatment, that she should keep the younger kids. I listened from the hall as Aunt Sarah asked hard questions Mom couldn't answer well. When Mom saw me listening, she raised her hand like she'd hit me, but Jake stepped in, then Emma, Oliver, and Lily. They stood between us, protecting me like I'd protected them. Mom's hand dropped, and she looked defeated. That evening, I called Aunt Sarah and told her everything: Dad's death, Mom's threats, the daily tricks. She was shocked and promised to come right away. She lived 3 towns away but would drive all night. I kept my siblings close, all sleeping in the living room like a team. Mom came out a few times, holding her pill bottle, trying to scare us, but we ignored her, focusing on each other. Her power was gone without us playing along. At dawn, Aunt Sarah arrived with a social worker, a police officer for safety, and a child advocate. Mom tried to act like a victim, but the pills everywhere, the weapons, the videos showing her obsession told the truth. My siblings held on to me as strangers filled our house, but these strangers brought hope, not separation. Aunt Sarah promised we'd stay together. The social worker talked about temporary plans, getting Mom help, and keeping us safe. Mom was taken for a checkup, her pills taken away, her threats empty. As they took her, she looked at me with something like respect. I'd won by refusing her game, by breaking her rules, by choosing my siblings over fear. The house felt lighter without her. My siblings started talking about feelings they'd hidden for 2 years. Jake said he was scared every day. Emma showed me secret drawings of our real life, not the fake one. Oliver stopped having accidents. The way Mom practiced in the garage, where Dad died, was so planned, like she knew exactly how to scare us while watching through the window. Her midnight pilking, spitting them out, was like a show for whoever was watching. Lily started talking normally again. Aunt Sarah moved in while legal stuff was sorted. She found my photos, crying and apologizing for not helping sooner. I didn't blame her. Mom was too good at her act. Mrs. Vargas visited, bringing and hugs. She'd suspected something was wrong but didn't know how to help. Now she worked with our schools to keep us on track. Other teachers offered help we didn't know we had. I kept Dad's killing secret from my siblings. They'd lost both parents in different ways. That was enough pain for now. Maybe when they're older, but not yet. Not when they're learning to feel safe. We stayed with Aunt Sarah while Mom got treatment. Reports said she admitted some of her bad actions but blamed grief and stress. She wanted to reunite and fix our family. That scared me, but we'd face it later. For now, we healed, learning to be kids, not actors in Mom's sad play. Building new routines without threats or pill counts. Learning love didn't need fear. That family meant protection, not control. My photos became evidence in custody hearings. Mom's videos backfired, showing her obsession, not our happiness. Experts saw what I'd lived: a mom using her kids as emotional prisoners, creating crises for control. They recommended keeping us apart while she got intense treatment. Some nights I woke up scared, thinking my siblings were gone, but they were always there, safe, no longer pieces in Mom's game. We'd survived 2 years of mind games, and though hurt, we were whole. The next anniversary of Dad's death passed quietly. We visited his grave, leaving flowers and real memories. No cameras, no shows, no pills in the background. Just 5 siblings remembering a dad whose death started a nightmare we'd escaped. Mom sent letters from her facility, some saying sorry, some still trying to control us. I read them first. choosing which ones my siblings could see. Some showed she was getting better. Others had the same old tricks and nicer words. Recovery would take time, if it happened. Emma's nightmares got fewer. Jake's questions became normal kid stuff. Oliver's worries calmed down. Lily acted her age. I learned to be 13, not a parent. The war I'd prepared for on that anniversary morning came, but not how I thought, not with pills or tragedy, but with quiet fighting and outside help, with siblings standing together and adults seeing past Mom's act, with love beating fear. We won by refusing to play, by breaking her sick rules. Mom's game needed us to play along, and we stopped. The pills lost power when we stopped fearing them. The threats became empty when we chose each other over fear. The next morning, Child Protective Services came with clipboards and questions, their faces serious as they checked our house. Aunt Sarah answered while I kept my siblings upstairs, though they looked worried, knowing something big was happening. I watched from Emma's window as they photographed Mom's room, the kitchen where she counted pills, the garage where it all started. Each photo felt like proof of what we'd been through. Oliver asked if we were in trouble. I said these people wanted to keep us together. The main social worker, a woman with kind eyes and glasses, talked to each sibling alone. I waited outside during Jake's turn, hearing him describe Mom's actions without fear. Emma showed her hidden drawings of our real life. Lily spoke clearly about being scared of the pills. My talk was longest. She asked about our daily life, Mom's behaviors, when things got worse. I showed her my photos, and her face got serious as she saw Mom's tricks. She wrote about the forced videos, the pill counts, the weapons left as tests. Aunt Sarah was busy taking time off work, signing my siblings up for school near her, starting legal steps to be our guardian. Papers covered her dining table, each one a step away from Mom's control. That afternoon, we packed properly, not secret bags, but suitcases with clothes, toys, and kid stuff. Jake brought his rocks, Emma wrapped her drawings, Oliver held his blanket. Lily took her stuffed animals. I stood in Mom's room, looking at her empty pill bottles. The social worker said we could leave them, but I collected them, counting them one last time, not for Mom, but to know they couldn't hurt us anymore. Mrs. Mendez came to say goodbye, giving us cookies. She'd watched our family fall apart from across the street, gave us a safe place when we needed it, kept her door open without questions. She hugged us, saying we were brave. The drive to Aunt Sarah's felt different. No pills in Mom's purse, no fake happy act. Jake laughed at the radio. Emma hummed a song, small moments that felt huge. Aunt Sarah's house was smaller but felt big without Mom's shadow. She'd made rooms for Ustrick and Oliver together, Emma and Lily in another. She offered me the guest room, but I took the couch to hear if anyone needed me at night. The first week was tough. New schools meant questions about our family. Aunt Sarah taught us simple answers to avoid attention. My siblings struggled with new schedules and teachers, but got used to it, strong because they felt safe. I met with a court advocate who'd fight for us in custody hearings. She looked at my photos, talked to our old teachers, built a case to keep us together. The legal stuff was slow but going our way. Mom's facility sent updates. She was doing therapy, taking medicine, admitting some bad things, but still blamed grief or stress. Recovery would be long, if it happened. My siblings started healing. Emma's nightmares dropped to once a week, then less. Jake stopped asking if Aunt Sarah would die. Oliver's accidents stopped. Lily's vocabulary grew fast. They were becoming kids again. I had a harder time. Without constant emergencies, I didn't know what to do. Aunt Sarah found me organizing her kitchen at 2 a.m., planning breakfast for 5. She reminded me I was 13, that she'd handle breakfast. School became my escape. Mrs. Vargas told my new teachers about my situation, so I didn't have to explain. I focused on catching up on homework. Math was easier than Mom's tricks. 3 months in, Mom asked for a supervised visit. The social worker said we could say no, that our feelings mattered. Jake and Emma wanted to see her. Oliver was scared. Lily looked to me. We went as a group, stronger together. The visit was at the facility's family center, a bright room that still felt like a hospital. Mom looked calmer, probably from medicine. She spoke carefully, like her therapists told her to. She said sorry to each kid, admitting she scared them, but not the full truth. Her apology to me was longer, saying she put too much on me, used my love for my siblings against me. My siblings were careful. Jake showed her a good report card. Emma shared a rainbow drawing. Oliver stayed close to me. Lily gave her a stuffed animal to keep. Small steps from big hearts despite everything. When the visit ended, Mom hugged each kid briefly. Her hug with me was longer, and she whispered I'd saved them, even her, by forcing her into treatment a kindness she couldn't give herself. The ride home was quiet, everyone thinking. That night, Emma asked if Mom would come home soon. I said she needed to get better first, that we were safe with Aunt Sarah. She nodded, understanding more than a kid should. Legal stuff kept going: custody, checks, mental health reports, home visits. The court was careful, putting our safety first. Mom was getting better but had hurt us too much. The judge ordered more separation with supervised visits. Aunt Sarah was everything we needed, structured but not controlling, helping with homework without making it a show, tucking us in without pills or videos. She showed us what a normal family could be. I started therapy because Aunt Sarah said so. The therapist knew about kids forced to act like adults too young. We worked on letting go of always being on guard, trusting grown-ups to handle things. Being 13, it was hard to stop checking on my siblings every hour. School got better. Jake joined science club. Emma found she was great at art without Mom's criticism. Oliver made friends who invited him to parties. Lily started preschool without fear. Mom's weekly letters came through the social workers. Some showed she was learning. Others tried old tricks and nicer words. We read them together, my siblings learning to spot her patterns like I did. Summer came with normal kid stuff: day camps, swimming lessons, things we'd missed. I wanted to stay home to watch my siblings, but they loved their programs, making friends and memories without me hovering. The custody hearing was coming. Mom had done 6 months of treatment, parenting classes, and therapy. Her doctor said she was doing okay but needed watching. She wanted unsupervised visits, maybe living together again. Our advocates showed my photos, teacher statements, the kids' fears. The judge listened, leaning toward keeping things safe. That night, Lily climbed into my bed, holding her stuffed elephant, asking if we'd have to live with Mom. I hugged her and said adults were making sure we'd be safe, that no one would put us in danger again. She fell asleep, trusting me like she couldn't before. 2 weeks later, the judge decided more supervised visits, maybe more often if Mom stayed. Stable Aunt Sarah kept guardianship, with regular checks. Living with Mom was possible but far off, depending on her progress and our comfort. Mom accepted it without drama. Understanding trust took time. Her lawyer said she knew she had to earn it. Supervised visits kept going, each less tense. She learned our new hobbies, asked about school without pushing, respected our rules in ways she never did before. Fall came, and high school meant leaving my siblings at a different school. The first day I almost panicked, thinking they needed me at lunch. But Aunt Sarah sent photos: Jake helping Oliver with his backpack, Emma braiding Lily's hair. They were fine without me. Parent-teacher conferences were happy this time. Aunt Sarah celebrated their progress openly. Jake's teacher loved his curiosity. Emma's art teacher wanted to show her work. Oliver helped in class. Lily was doing great in kindergarten. Mom's team suggested family therapy to rebuild safely. My siblings agreed, braver than most adults. The first session was weird, with careful words and quiet moments, but it was a start. Winter holidays brought new traditions. Aunt Sarah let us plan baking cookies without cameras, decorating a tree without fear, wrapping gifts in bright paper. Family therapy moved slowly. Mom learned to listen to how she'd hurt us without defending herself. Oliver told her the pill counts scared him from sleeping, and she cried real tears. One evening, while helping Aunt Sarah cook, she told me she suspected something about Dad's death and was quietly working with police to check it, without upsetting my siblings. I wasn't carrying that secret alone anymore. Spring brought a big step. Mom finished a year of treatment, stayed stable with medicine and therapy, and worked on being accountable. The court allowed a trial weekend visit at Aunt Sarah's. We prepared with safe words and backup plans. Aunt Sarah stayed the whole time, our safety net. Mom arrived nervous, not the bossy woman she was. The weekend went okay. She helped with homework without making it a show, read bedtime stories without pills, ate with us without recordings. When she left, my siblings hugged her on their own. That night, we talked. Jake said Mom seemed calmer. Emma noticed she didn't mention Dad. Oliver felt safe. Lily had fun. Small wins that felt huge. Trial visits grew every other weekend. Then every weekend, always at Aunt Sarah's with supervision. Mom learned our routines, respected our boundaries, went to school events without making them about her. As summer neared, the court suggested unsupervised day visits, building to overnights. My siblings told the judge their feelings. Jake wanted to try overnights. Emma was okay with day visits, but wanted Aunt Sarah's number ready. Oliver wanted me there at first. Lily just wanted everyone happy. My talk was longest. The judge asked if I felt safe. I thought of 2 years of Terrapil's threats, too much responsibility. Then I thought of Mom's real efforts, her medicine, her new boundaries. I said I'd try with safety rules. Day visits started at Mom's new apartment, bright and free of bad memories. She decorated with my siblings' art, made bedrooms for their interests. No pills or weapons anywhere, just a mom trying to fix what she broke. I stayed for the first overnight, sleeping on her couch while my siblings tested it out. Morning came without problems. Breakfast was normal. Mom drove them to school like any parent, surprised to find me still there, expecting I'd need to manage everything. We sat at her kitchen table, the woman who'd scared us, and the teenager who'd fought back. She made tea while I struggled to speak. She thanked me for saving them, for being stronger than any kid should be, for taking my childhood. I cried for the first time in 2 years, not from fear, but from letting go of the weight I'd carried. The way Mom learned to respect our boundaries makes me wonder what therapy tricks helped her change. Did she practice scenarios, or learn why she needed to control everything? Mom didn't try to comfort me, knowing she'd lost that right. She just sat, letting me feel what I'd held in to survive. Overnight visits became normal every other weekend, then every weekend. My siblings got used to 2 homes, 2 kinds of family. Mom kept up therapy, medicine, and the work of being the parent they deserved. A year later, the court looked at the setup again. Mom asked for half-time custody. My siblings were doing great, good grades, steady friends, manageable fears. They'd learned to love Mom again while keeping healthy rules. The final hearing wasn't dramatic, just a judge reviewing reports, considering what was best for 5 kids who'd been through so much. He decided on shared custody, with Aunt Sarah's house as our main home. Mom accepted it with grace she couldn't have had before, knowing she'd broken something that could only be rebuilt differently. My siblings would never be just with her, but she could be in their lives safely. As we left the courthouse, Jake held Mom's hand, Oliver held mine. Emma walked between us with Lily on her shoulders. We looked like any family with messy relationships. No one would guess our story, the pills, threats, and midnight fears we'd survived. That evening, Aunt Sarah made a big dinner to celebrate. All 7 of us sat around her table, eating without fear. Mom helped serve, okay with her new role. My siblings talked about school and friends, normal kid stuff. I watched them, these 4 I'd fought for, now safe with real systems and healthy adults. After dinner, Mom got ready to go to her apartment. My siblings hugged her, already planning their next visit. She looked at me last, her eyes showing thanks and regret. She'd lost her power to scare us, but gained a chance to love us, right? A trade she had to make, one that saved us all. As her car left, I stood on Aunt Sarah's porch, breathing air that felt lighter than ever. Inside, my siblings were doing homework, watching TV, being kids. They didn't need me to protect them from Mom anymore. They were safe, we were together, and that was enough. The war I'd planned for that anniversary morning ended not with pills or tragedy, but with healing and accountability. We survived by refusing Mom's game, by breaking the silence, by choosing each other over fear. The scars stayed, but they didn't define us. That night, I slept deeply for the first time since Dad died. No listening for Mom's steps or pill bottles. No planning escapes, just sleeping like the 15-year-old I could finally be. My siblings were safe. The danger was gone. And childhood, though hurt, was partly given back.